What is going on, Redskins fans? This is JD coming at you another video from Redskins Rant. Hail to the Redskins. We just had a game last night against the Jets, and I'm going to talk about it a little bit. Saturday evening, I will be releasing a game film breakdown. I'm going to try to do a game film breakdown of both the preseason games. I just don't know if I'm going to have the time. But I'm definitely going to do a breakdown of the Jets game for sure. Okay, because there's a lot more to get out of that one than there was the first preseason game. So that being said, here we go. Here's just my takeaway from that game. Yesterday I said that we needed to have, I wanted to see the starters do well, and I wanted to see certain players do well on the second team. Okay, so there's some standouts I want to talk about. First, let's talk about our quarterback. Alex Smith looked fantastic. I'm not going to sit here and say anything more than just that. He looked amazing, looked very surgical, looked very precise. He actually was looking off defenders, then he checked down. And here's where, like, I like him so much more than Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins would just take the short one to keep his percentage up. Kirk Cousins would, like, this is the difference between Kirk Cousins and Alex Smith. Alex Smith, he did this like on the first. If you watched it, I'll explain it whenever I watch the game film. I'll explain which play I'm talking about. But in the first play, or the first like series, well, the only series I guess is the one we played. It's like first down, and he literally drops back, fakes a run. It's a play action, and he looks deep and draws a safety out of the flat to cover like 10 or 12 yards deep. Then he hits Vernon Davis, and Vernon Davis catches it and turns upfield for to get like 12 yards. That's very good. That's what you're supposed to do. That's why I said it a long time ago. I'm very excited about having Alex Smith because the type of offense we have all three levels covered. Or when it comes to any passing play, has three levels. The close yardage, like 3 to 5 yards. Then you have the medium yardage where you have between like 5 and 10, then you have 12, and sometimes they have even 4 levels. They have someone running deep while you have all these levels being covered. So you always have a check down, and if you don't cover the check down, if they cover the check down, there's always something that's available. You just got to know how to read it. And Kirk would always just take the deep one and never go through his progressions properly. Okay, and that's where my issue with Kirk's always been. He's always takes. I said he's always been lazy because he will take the deep route and won't go through his progressions properly on like first and second down. I have no issue with a check down quarterback on first and second down. It's when you do it on third down, when it's like 3rd and 8, and you got to get a first down, but you throw the ball on a 2-yard out route. That's where I have an issue, and I don't see that from Alex Smith. I don't think Alex Smith is going to do that. He literally is the 1st and 10. He looks off the corner. The corner played kind of like a medium crossing route, and the guy was open if the corner wouldn't have played it. So Alex Smith looked him up perfectly, and then he hits the guy, Vernon Davis, in the flat, and Vernon Davis turns upfield and gets like 12 yards out of it. So 10 or 12 yards, something like that. So that's like really good. And then like it's 3rd and like 8, and instead of us going for like a 3-yard out route, like I just mentioned earlier with our ex-quarterback, he actually throws the ball past the first down marker to Dotson, and we catch it and complete it, and we turn upfield and we get a first down. Like, those are things that I'm excited about. And then in the red zone, we didn't just throw a fade. We threw the ball on a crossing route to Trey Quinn. Now, we didn't get any touchdowns this game, and I'm not going to be as concerned about that, and I'll explain why. One, we should have had a touchdown if it wasn't for a guy not being lined up on the offensive line and only having 6 guys on the offensive line. Okay? And then Sims, I think his name, or Sims, yeah, I think his name's Sims. Sims made a hellacious catch, took a hit, landed in the end zone, caught it, all that good stuff. So he did really well. And that was like later in the game, but I'm not mad about the Trey Quinn had an opportunity to get a touchdown. Now here's what he did. He did what I'm going to use an analogy because he did this last year a lot. He priored it. He trail priored it, and what I mean by that is trail prior would round off routes a lot. And so instead of like it being like a 5-yard and quick slant, and it'd be like a very decisive slant, Terrell Pryor would round it off. So a ball that would be like in his chest, or whatever case may be on the money, he's deeper. So if the ball's like kind of like traveling and kind of going upward, it would be over his head or whatever. It makes sense to me. I know what I'm talking about. But like Trey Quinn had an opportunity to have like a really hard dive in and he would have got a touchdown pass, but he rounded it out, giving the defense a chance to make a play on the ball, and he didn't attack the ball. Okay, all he needed to do was be across the end zone. He was way too far in the end zone. It'd have been a touchdown if he'd have just run his route properly. So, that being said, I'm not upset about us not getting a touchdown. It's preseason after all. We're trying things. We're not doing anything crazy. Okay, there's probably other passing combinations we would probably use to get touchdowns. And this was just a man-to-man matchup, and he made the right throw. The guy was open. Trey Quinn just rounded his route off, and I'm sure they're going to correct that because Trey Quinn actually had a pretty good game other than that. Had a pretty solid game other than that. So that quarterback, that's what I saw from Alex Smith, and then Colt McCoy, he's just a solid backup. The offense didn't look like it lost a beat without him. Running backs, I saw some good things from P. Ryan. Actually, this is our fourth string running back, Carter. Saw some good things from him. He had some really good field vision. I saw. He had a couple where he would see the field, do one jump cut to the left, and then bursted for 20 yards. He did it 3 times in the second half. So I saw some good things from him. I think we're gonna have to go forward with P. Ryan. Rob Kelly will run hard. I just don't see. I needed to stop talking bad about Rob Kelly. He's not. It's nothing personal. I just of all the running backs we have, I think he just has. He's hit his ceiling. He doesn't have speed. He does run hard, but he just doesn't have speed, and I don't see him being effective in the passing game much. So, it is what it is. I'm not trying to rip on Rob Kelly. It seems like I am, and I'm catching myself. It seems like I am. I want to move on from him because we put our faith in him as a running back before, and it didn't pan out. And I don't understand why he gets second chances, but we couldn't give Alfred Morris opportunities to still be productive on the team. So. A little bit of bitterness about that, and I don't understand why we're hanging with him. So, that being said, receivers. I thought our receivers looked pretty good. Even our backup receivers looked pretty good. Trey Quinn looked good. Dotson looked good. I don't think Crowder or Richardson played. So, I don't think if Maurice Harris played, I didn't see that. So, I missed it. But my God, did we look good. Vernon Davis looked good. Jordan Reed didn't play, but our backup tight end looked good. Jeremy Sprinkle looked good. So there's a lot of things I can say. And actually, I'm going to go talk about the offensive line because I thought the offensive line did pretty well. They protected Alex Smith, and then they protected Colt McCoy really well. Jerron Christian, he is the backup of Trent Williams, actually looked pretty decent yesterday. He protected the quarterback, whichever one it was. He was the blindside quarterback for both quarterbacks, and he protected them really well. I was very impressed with how he played, and that's just going to get better whenever you put Trent Williams back in. So, offensively, I'm not upset. I think Kevin Hogan is just a waste of space. I'm sorry. I don't think he's a very good quarterback at all. If you're at least a decent quarterback, when you play third strings, you at least look like you know what you're doing. He doesn't look like he knows what he's doing. He really doesn't. All right. Defense. Man, I will tell you, we're going to have ourselves one hell of a defensive line. Tim Settle, Drawn Payne looks like a beast. And if we really can run a 4-3 with him and Tim Settle, Drawn Payne and Tim Settle up the middle. And my God, they're going to have to double team both those guys because those guys are not easy to block. Drawn Payne has so much power. He has so much power. He just bulldozes people. But he also has great form. That's what makes him such a good player. Tim Settle is, he's got good power, but he doesn't exactly have the greatest technique. And that's where he'll have to, improve, basically. That's where he'll have to, find some ground for improvement. And that's where his, he hasn't reached his ceiling yet. But those two look good. Jonathan Allen looked good. Matt Ioannidis, I think, was out this game, so the linebacking core looked good. Mason Foster, Preston Smith, they looked good. They were flying around. They were finding people. Our secondary looked pretty good. Troy Apke got a pick because he's having to use his speed, and he played on a ball that was tipped. Guys were getting in people's faces. I just like the attitude we're having now. We haven't even seen the best version of ourselves. That's what I like about it. Is we're not given everything out. I wish Alex Smith had played more than one series. I just want to see us get more. I want to get more sample size of what he's doing, to like, you know, just gauge where the offense is heading. I think I have an idea where they're going, but I just want to see like more game film. I mean, again, we haven't seen anything close to what we are. We're not playing Zach Brown. We didn't play Matt Ioannidis yesterday. Drawon Payne is not going to get a lot of playing time in preseason. Okay, unless he's like completely over his like ankle injury or someone stepped on his foot a couple weeks ago. I don't think Norman played. If he played like a series. Okay, Swearinger I think didn't play that much. So we're not really seeing the best versions of ourselves. I mean, we're eventually going to see it, but we're not seeing the best versions of ourselves at all. So I think it's coming, and we've only seen Alex Smith for one drive, and that one drive resulted in a field goal. And that's one thing I will say, that we just need to make sure we're getting touchdowns, not field goals. That was one of my biggest gripes with Kirk a couple years ago, is like when he had 5,000 yards, we still averaged the same amount of points per game. And I was always like wondering why. I'm like, well, that's because he had less touchdowns, and the only way we made up for those touchdowns was with more field goals, and we had like 8 more rushing touchdowns to compensate for that. So that's pretty much what I have to take away from the game. I'm not going to get too much into depth on certain plays right now. I will save that for the game film breakdown. Okay, game film breakdown, I will release it either Saturday night or Sunday morning. Let's keep an eye out for it. All right. This is JD. Thank you for watching Redskins Rant. Like, share, and subscribe. Comment your opinion on the game. Like, who stood out to you? Who was the best version or the best player to you that stood out and like jumped off your screen and said, wow? Made you say wow. All right. So JD, take it easy, man.